If you want to get more things done in a shorter amount of time and stop procrastinating and putting it off till later, this is what I did to actually learn self-discipline and get more done in 1 hour than in one full day. Now, once I learned this strategy, I could probably get done 20 hours worth of work in probably only like 3 to 4 hours. So if you're somebody who has big goals, big desires, big dreams, you want to start a business, but you also want to be fit, you also want to have a family, you also want to have a social life, this video is really going to help you basically create time management and come up with a better system for you to get things done quickly and stop putting it off till tomorrow. And I have probably read every single book when it comes to goal setting, time management, procrastination, getting more things done, success, and probably so many more YouTube videos as well. And I learned a lot from those, but I took like bits and pieces and also tried my own strategies, and I came up with a simple 4-step system, which is what I'm going to share in this video, that's allowed me to once again build the self-discipline and also build the internal motivation to actually get things done quickly. Because let me tell you, if you're relying on motivation 24/7 to get certain things done, you are always going to fail, because relying on motivation on its own will not get you to the next level. So before I go into my 4-step system, the first thing I want to say is, if you have like a long to-do list, like with over 20 things, that's probably one of the reasons why that you're not getting anything done, because just by looking at that list, you are overwhelmed. And the last thing that you want to do is sit down and go through that entire thing. So all of these steps that I'm going to share with you, they are equally as important, but I want to say the last step is going to be like the internal motivation that you're going to have to actually get all of this done. So if you're ready, like I am, hit the subscribe button, comment below, let me know you're here, but let's get into it. This is what I call my SETTR system without the second E, okay? So the first S stands for set a to-do list, and actually set a realistic to-do list, okay? So how I like to set my to-do list is actually make a list of only 3 top things that I want to get done during the day. And the reason why I only have 3 is because they're usually 3 big things. Now for me, on my to-do list, it might look something like recording a YouTube video. Maybe it's also shooting 10 reels and then sending out a promotional email to my email list. Now, when you look at that list, it doesn't look like a whole lot. However, when I'm doing those things, sometimes it does take a little bit longer. But the second thing that I always do is I make a second list of 3 additional goals that I can work on if I already get the first 3 done. And usually those are like smaller goals. And that could look like maybe editing some of those reels. Maybe it is watching a training, and then, I don't know, maybe it's posting on Instagram. So once again, most of the time I will get my 3 tasks done for the day a lot quicker, and then I'll go on to like my next 3. But there'll be days that my 3 main tasks, they take all day. So for me, in order to set myself up to succeed and not for failure, I don't want to make a list of 10 things to do, because A, looking at that list, I'm not going to even want to do it, but B, it is much more likely that I'm going to get 3 things done and then build the confidence to do even more, or just be done that day and then want to do it again the following day. So please do not have a list of 10 things to do. Maybe if they're 10 really small things, but I have found what works best for me is 3 main big goals to get done throughout the day. Now, the second step of my SETTR system is E, and this is environment to succeed. Let me tell you, if you have your phone out, you have 20 million tabs on your laptop, you are texting your friends, you're looking out the window, you have so many distractions, no wonder why you cannot get anything done. Okay, so I always love to set up my environment to succeed. So this means putting my phone away, closing out my tabs, not really having anything else going on but my work that needs to get done right in front of me. And if you're someone like me who does have like multiple things going on at once, this helps me not get sidetracked, because sometimes if I do have my email up while I'm working on like writing content, if I see an email pop through and I'm like, ooh, that's something I do need to respond to, I'm gonna stop writing the piece of content, respond to that email, and then, ooh, maybe I'm gonna think of something else. And then all of a sudden, the piece of content that I needed to write does not actually get finished. So if you get sidetracked all the time, and once again, a task that's supposed to take maybe only 20 minutes ends up taking an hour, it is because you just have way too many distractions. So setting up an environment to succeed is going to be probably one of also the main things for you to get things done a lot faster. Now, another thing that I love to do to actually stay focused when I'm working is listening to focus music or binaural beats. And I have some ones that I just listen to on YouTube. I'll make sure to link my favorite ones in the description, but that really helps me just get into the zone, because once again, if you're like me, I have like a million thoughts running through my mind even when I'm working on tasks. So when I have music that just like keeping me focused, it just gets me into the flow. And then also sometimes your environment can look like switching up where you're working. Now, the majority of the time I do most of my work in my office right now, which is where I'm recording this video, but sometimes I'm gonna want to go to like a coffee shop or like a co-working space or go work somewhere else in my house, because sometimes if you're just working at the same place, you just don't really have the motivation to get certain things done. So make sure you set up your environment to succeed. And once again, when you are working in work blocks, which is what we're going to be talking about next, that is where you can put your phone away, exit your tabs, and really get into the state when it comes to executing the task that you're about to work on. Now, the third step in my SETTR system is tasks to get done. Now, what you want to do before you go into like your work block, your work session, is choose one thing you want to get done. Don't look at all three of your goals. Don't look at everything else that you wrote down. Just pick one thing. And this actually goes hand in hand with the fourth step of my SETTR system, actually the second T, which is time. Okay, so what you also want to do is take a look at the task that you picked and figure out how much time you think it's going to take you. Now, if you're not sure, I always love to give myself a little bit more time, just like buffer window. So that way I'm not rushing, and it's also not bleeding into like my next work block or a break or something else that I have during the day. So for an example, if I go with one of my tasks, which is recording a YouTube video for me usually only takes about like 30 to 45 minutes. But sometimes if I need to change the lighting or do like the thumbnails, the pictures, maybe I mess up a few times, it could take me a little bit longer. So I'm going to want to make sure that I have a 1 hour block for me to record my YouTube video. And then also I'm going to schedule that in my day, right? So every single morning, actually, I do this. Sometimes I even do it the day before. I look at my calendar and I will write down from like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's when I'm recording my YouTube video, or like 1 p.m. till 2 p.m. That's when I'm doing it. So that way, when you wake up in the morning, you're not just sitting there and you're wondering what to do, right? You actually have a schedule. So the third and the fourth step goes hand in hand. The double T's, right? Task to get done, and then time frame of when you're actually gonna get it done. Oh, and one more thing. Let's say for an example, you have a smaller task on your to-do list. For me, it's like writing up an email, like a promo email to send to my email list. That could only maybe take me like 15 minutes, but even for something like that, I'll give myself a buffer and change that to like 25 to 30 minutes max. So once again, I'm not rushing myself, because one of the main reasons why we can't get certain things done is because we don't give ourselves enough time, and then we feel like it's rushed, like it's not gonna get done, and we're just going to put it off to like the next day. Now, the fifth and final step of my SETTR system is reward yourself after the task is done. I love to give myself a little reward after, because what it does is it actually creates a positive work loop for me to just continue working and then feeling good after I finish my tasks. And let me tell you, I used to be the person that would work nonstop for like 10 hours straight, and I would get a lot of things done, but then at the end of the day, I would feel super burnt out that I wouldn't want to do it again the next and following day. So now for me, when I only have like 3 tasks done, I will make sure to give myself a little reward after every single task. blocks. So let's say for an example, I have an hour work block where I am creating maybe content for Instagram. I wrote up like 5 different content pieces. I will give myself maybe like a 10 or 15 break to mindlessly scroll on social media, go on a walk, have a snack, honestly do whatever I want for like 10 to 15 minutes. So that way it also re-energizes me to go and continue to do the next and following block. And I also love doing this for like full day rewards. So let's say I have a really busy schedule where I'm recording videos, I have a podcast show, I'm going out to an event. I will schedule something later that evening or that night, maybe like a dinner date, maybe going out to the movies with Andy. So that way I have something to actually look forward to at the end of the day, and it's gonna make me want to actually get all my work done. Because there really isn't a better feeling than knowing that you actually got everything done throughout the day, and now you can relax at the end of the day and honestly just do whatever you want. So this really helps me with tasks that I know that I have to do, but I don't necessarily want to do. I'll make sure I have a really, really good reward at the end. So that way, once again, this is like my own self-motivation to actually get it done. So that way I can go, watch TV, go hang out with my friends, or maybe even go shopping. And creating self-discipline has literally allowed me to change my entire life and go from being an employee to running my own 6-figure business. And if you want to learn what I did to take all of these skills and turn it into a business, make sure to watch this video. That's all for this one. I love you guys so much, and until next time, make sure that you stay unforgettable.